it might sound cliched. I'm just really grateful for awareness. I'm grateful by practicing awareness. What I mean by awareness is practicing to see like my mood feels less than 100%. And so I'm going to do something to hold myself accountable so that I can get into a better mood. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rain? Thank you. Greetings from Florida. Greetings from Nevada. I am currently located in Nevada, hanging out at my moderators. We are over here building the empire. I'm grateful for all the people who send me messages. I'm grateful for the rainy weather that we're having right now. All right, love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, all right. My name is Nikki Scorpio. I am the introvert that speaks up. I've done many different things spiritually and holistically to crack my code. Thank you for the gifts. I share that information with you because you're powerful, you're attractive, you've been lied to, and we're moving forward in our lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I passed through New Mexico. I haven't spent enough time in New Mexico. I was on a road trip when I went there. I do want to go. An acquaintance now more so, but still a friend who's a shaman. He was born and raised in New Mexico. And I know that there's definitely a very spiritual side to it that I definitely want to visit. So, what would your life look like if you did not know about comparisons? What would your life look like if you didn't know the comparisons were a thing? How does comparison show in your life? What is comparison? Why are you comparing things? How automatic is it to compare things? Right? Comparison, well, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And what that means is that you might want to do something and it doesn't show up a certain way. And so from a place of trauma, like if you've had to control things in your life because somebody hurt you, because somebody harmed you, because something happened, that you might constantly try to control your environment. That's a hard question. That's a hard question with trauma. It's a powerful question, though. It's a powerful question. And the reason why it's powerful is because when you start to realize how you are constantly comparing one circumstance to the other, where you say, like, I want for things to be this way. And if they're not this way, then they're going to be terrible and they're going to be horrible. And then what happens is you get caught up in a pattern. You get caught up in what's called a feedback loop, where over and over again, you're trying to control your circumstances. And you can't do it. And that's why people get gut health issues. That's why people have a hard time digesting things. That's why relationships don't work. That's why friendships can be challenging. And again, following your intuition. All of this is because we have to control things. And sometimes we control things in a negative way. Can hard things be powerful? Yes, absolutely. How do you think that we got to this space? That was challenging. The spiritual awakening path isn't easy, right? It's powerful. People think that the spiritual awakening is going to be like soft music and lighting, right? It's not the case. It is challenging. It involves tears. It involves frustration. It involves overwhelm. It involves completely letting go of control, in my opinion. Drop an emoji or write yes and acknowledge it if you have had to control your circumstances. Tap in, tap in. This live stream is all about being around other people where you can actually be yourself for the first time. Practice being yourself on these live streams. Like practice really, really, really being honest with yourself instead of doing that thing of like, you have to show people that you're a good person or trying to control your environment. Okay? Get used to being around people and being able to be honest with how you truly feel. Because it's wild to me how challenging it is for people to be honest with themselves. And remember, you might be lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, if you're not being honest with yourself, nobody knows that. And you're just going to keep on falling back into the pattern. So being truthful with yourself might feel uncomfortable. If you have a certain kind of trauma, you might have to feel like sometimes you have to be dishonest because you're worried that you're going to get attacked. And so you tell people things that, that they want to hear. Right. So how would your life, again, get a piece of paper or use your notes section, right? Like, how would your life look like if today, right now, if like all of a sudden there was a brilliant flash of light and then all of a sudden, just like that, there was no such thing as comparisons, that you didn't compare yourself, that it just didn't happen. It just wasn't a thing. So if you get around people and they're talking to you and they're like, hey, how come you're not in the relationship anymore? And then your brain just goes, because like that's a comparison conversation. And you just go to the space of everything's as it should be, because everything's perfect, because everything's in order, because I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because I'm loving myself more. And you didn't even need to respond to it. Or you had a conversation with them to say, everything's perfect, I'm in a good space. Or like I had to do with 3 different people in my life to say, I know that you care about me. I know this is your way of showing that you care about me. However, I know what I'm doing now. Thank you for your concern. I know that you love me. I know this is a way of showing it. However, I know what I'm doing now, even when it looks like I don't. What's up, Rita? Nice to see you. Let me see some of these comments. Word, I actually exactly take notes. He's an introvert that doesn't like communication. Thanks, you're genuine. Takes one to know one. Introverts like to have conversations. It's just we like to talk about things that are really fascinating to us. And then when you get us to talk about those things, then sometimes we won't be quiet. If anything, relationship, what you can do is you can show to your introverted partner what it's like to be extroverted and how you create excitement. That's one of the things that I spent a couple years on in my life, was being here. Watch out, buddy. I got a little kid wiggle worm beneath me who's wiggling around. So if you hear any sounds or anything like that, that's what that is. So lost my train of thought. Yes, one of the things that I had to spend time on in my life was learning how to create excitement, was learning how to go into a room and connect with somebody who is a CEO, who is an executive, you know, and show them what excitement was like in my world. And that was talking about mental health, that was talking about trauma, that was talking about spirituality, and to find a way to connect to people. I need to change the energy right now because I feel like this weird thing. Does anybody else feel that? Because I definitely feel it, and I need to change it because like something feels off, and I can't quite put my finger on it. So just give me a second here. Yeah, somebody's energy is weird. Here, watch out, kiddo. You're bumping the thingy.
Jackson, come here.
Oh, man. You got to follow your intuition. If something feels weird, it's weird. What is that? What is that? What is going on? I can't quite put my finger on it. However, the energy is definitely weird. And we got a wiggle worm. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We have a wiggle worm in the house.
What?
All right.
You found the money. Good job.
There he is. All right. Phew. That was a close call. All right. Do you feel like the energy? Can you do something? Because it feels like it's off.
Okay. Well, one, it's very rainy today, which is emotions. I think a lot of emotions are being brought up right now. That's what I'm tuning into. I feel a mix of emotions, calmness, determination, letting go of, I think there's a lot of letting go happening right now. I know with what I went through last night, seeing old patterns coming up, and I was thankful for, I woke up with gratitude this morning too. Like hearing you say, what I'm thankful for, the first thing I did this morning was I thanked the bed for supporting my body, blankets that kept me warm, a roof over my head, for the ideas that are coming through that will bring prosperity, for the trust that I'm learning to have within this journey. Thankful.
Somebody, no, but it's like somebody, it's somebody in here. Do you feel that? Or is it within me? Because I feel it very like, it's like here. It's right here. What is that?
Is somebody, is somebody, did somebody just lose someone? Like, did they just find out that there was a death in the family? Just put a yes in the chat. You said that as soon as I joined. I feel like there's some grieving going on in some way, and somebody's in the me. Okay. All right. So it does feel like it was a real tragic death. I'm Jennifer, not prepared to be on camera, but here I am. I am a psychic medium, and just so you can kind of see me. Okay. Hi. So let me tune in because I was not centered for this. I was centered for holding space for Nikki, but that of course passes on to all of you. So that is why he's tuning in. So it sounds like somebody got a phone call this morning. Just lost my grandma on the first. Okay, so there's a lot of loss going on in here. What I'm tuning into right now, though, it feels like there was a car accident or something that happened, and it was unexpected. Is that ringing true for anybody right now? Just put a yes in the chat. That it was unexpected, it came up. And so the anxiety, that's coming up. Okay. Yes. Okay. My mother was killed in a car accident yesterday. Yeah. Okay. And have you already lost your father, Mama Wolf? Because I'm picking up on a female and male. Wow. There's a couple things that are tuning in here, but Mama Wolf, I think we're on with you.
You just lost me.
Okay. So Mom wants you to know that she's with Dad right now. Dad was by her side for the whole thing. There was nothing. It was like, it could have gone as smooth as it could have gone. And she wants to pass that message on to you right now because she knows that you think that she was alone and you couldn't be there for her. And I want you to breathe right now because I can feel your tears coming up. And I want you to know that everyone here loves you and you are supported. You're welcome. So it does feel like you had some type of argument with her before she passed. And she wants you to know that there's all love. She's so proud of you, and she's so amazed with all the work that you're doing right now. And she wants you to keep going. And she's sorry that she doubted you. She wants you to know that she sees clearly now. And you're going in the right direction. That sometimes when we're on this planet, when we're on Earth, we get caught up in our ego, and we get caught up in the way that we see the world and how we think the world should be. But you've always had the courage to step outside that. And she wasn't brave enough to do that. And she just wants you to know that she is so proud of you. So, whatever you are working on right now, whatever you're going towards, even when you're doubting it, she wants you to keep going forward. Well, it's because you are open. I wouldn't be able to connect in with you if you were not open. And, I feel that she led you here to Nikki's live feed today, knowing that we were together. Nikki and I connect with energy often, and we've gotten a couple times now to work with some of you in here. We got to work with Ashley and Social Butterfly, and we're learning how to use our gifts together too. So you're giving us a gift in return as well. You're reminding us that how we work together, and your mom was a part of that too. So I feel like she wasn't very spiritual. Like she maybe had a religion, where she followed in strictly, but what we're doing right now would be outside of her normal. So she wants you to see this, that she sees us sitting in front of you, and that we're trusting our gifts and learning to bring it to others and help, and that she sees your gift in the same. Do you have similar gifts? Have you felt spirit before? I feel like she's touching your face right now. Do you feel? If you feel that coolness when it's touching your skin, that's her letting you know that she's right there. And I feel like she's holding your face. And yes, that's her. And you're going to feel that. And that's when she's going to be there encouraging you. So don't be afraid of it. And the gifts that have been opening up for you are real. She wants you to know that. And that's why she's putting me and Nikki in front of you right now. Yes, that cold right there on the right cheek. That's her. She's holding your face right now. And just telling you all these messages that I'm telling you right now. So she wants you to know that she's safe. She's with your father. Both of them are safe. And you are so supported and so loved. And not only by her, but by so so many ancestors behind you. You are breaking generational trauma. The things that you saw, she did hold your hand last night. She was sitting by your side. She was sitting by your side, and I think you felt that movement in the bed as well. And she wants you to make sure that you are protecting yourself as well. And she is sitting by your side all the way through. There's a huge thing. It feels like you have been wanting to do something really big, and because she did not give her support to you, you've been doubting yourself. But it's time to let that go. It's time to go forward. That's right. Part of was you grid where our planets are right now. I just saw a bunch of Saturn. So Saturn brings truth. Saturn brings trust. It brings justice. And we are in that energy right now. And we have Mercury retrograde, which means you're reviewing your contract that you made with yourself as a child, as a child of the stars, I should say. And before you came down on this planet, you picked the courses you wanted to take and how you are going to go through them. And when we go through these, this is a lesson for everybody in here. And so thankful for Mama Wolf being vulnerable right now. I will tune into that in a second. Hold on one second, because she wants you to really hear this. That you chose to be here. You chose her as a mother. You chose your father as a father. You chose every relationship that came into your life, and that, there's the release. Okay, so I'm feeling that in my heart right now. The remembering that you chose all of this. Every part that felt hard, every part that felt joyful, those were all your lessons to get you to this point, and it's time to step into that and move forward. Yes, you choose. You choose. So you always have the power. And you see this in every religion as well. Like even the Bible tells us you have free will. Your soul has free will. So that means, how I see it, and I know other mediums see it differently, other shamans work through this differently, but how I've always visualized it was like when we're signing up for college here on this plane, right? We're going, okay, well, I really got to learn this lesson, and I really have to get to this place. And it goes perfectly actually with what Nikki set this up to be with planting seeds. We're sitting and we're pulling those courses out, like up in our heavenly body, right? Up with God, all of the energy, that source, that one source. And we're all a part of it. Like, look at this crystal right here. There's a bunch of little molecules and particles and everything that are holding this together. But it's one source, right? It's a solid source. That's what all of us represent. So we're all it. We are the I am. We are God. We are everything. We are source. But it takes every little tiny particle to hold this together. So that's why each one of us have to do our part. So is the DNA shared with this planet, with Mother Earth, if we're talking science, we have to choose what we're going to step into and what So they're going to make me angry. They're going to frustrate me. They're going to make me step up in my power. So I purposely chose that. I purposely picked that. I choose where I'm going. So when we get into this body, they say a baby between 0 and 1 and they remember everything. And then sometimes even in 2 and 3, they can still tell you, especially if they're in that safe space to feel comfortable to speak. But yes, they made you a better mother. Every single person made you a better person, made your soul a stronger person. Like, think of that. You chose all of those situations. So how could any of them be wrong, no matter how painful they are? It's just about looking at it, like Nikki puts it in a beautiful way, of like, you're just going through the maze right now and you're figuring out how to get to the other side. When he said that to me the other day, it like so made sense, because I feel safe and powerful right now with the steps that I'm personally choosing right now, that I know are seeds that I planted, and I am consciously aware of that. And so every situation that is popping up in my life right now is that lesson, is that seed growing. And I want you to remember, when we plant seeds, say this is a seed, we plant it in the ground. You can't see it. It's harnessing that energy, right? But that seed, for some reason, knows that it needs to go up, even though it can't see the sun, even though it can't feel the warmth. It gets water and it gets that sensation every once in a while, but it can't see all the beauty above the ground. So shine that light on yourself and let it grow. And when it grows and it pops out, think how beautiful it is. That's you. And you have so many seeds inside you that you are going to be opening up and awakening and pulling that out right now. You planted those seeds. So your mom really wants you to know this concept. She wants you to focus on that more than any of the earthly things right now. She is confirming that she is safe. She is happy. She now has more of her power back to sit and support you and who you truly are in those soul contracts. Okay, so if I may ask, is that part of your family? Have you seen this pattern in your family? Going to prison is, we can look at it from one perspective as a really horrible thing, or we can look at it at the perspective of what lesson is he learning right now. So when we are doing this generational healing, this generational trauma that comes up, where you can see the pattern, like in my family, we have alcoholism. I am the first generation to break this. So I can speak to you from going through these steps, that I think many, because every time this seems to happen, go ahead and put a yes in the chat, that how many of you are also going through something similarly right now, that Mama Wolf right now is just being that space to hold it for all of us to work through these emotions right now. Just put a yes in the chat to help her see that she is not alone. There we go. So, and I'm going through this too. So, and Nikki's going through this. So it's not a coincidence that we're all together in this space right now. So look at all these yeses. Like, pull that into your heart right now. Receive that love. And each one of you do the same thing. This is how we're all going to grow together, how we're going to heal together. So those seeds, that trauma, that everything that our family has been going through, we have to release it somehow. But it takes the pain, for that sprout to come through. So you, my love, are sitting there and you're feeling all this pain, and your mom might have taken a first little step, and I feel like it was standing up to dad. And yes, everybody. And you watched your mom stand up as much as she could to your father. And that gave you just a little bit that power to do what you have done now with your children's father. And with that, your son now, because it happened at the time it was supposed to happen, so maybe you didn't stand up till he was a little bit older. Well, now he needs to learn to stand up for himself. But each time, each generation is getting more and further into that healing. So think of it like, okay, well, my mom was able to do 5%, and now I'm doing 15%. And my son, I believe that he's going to wake up. I know I'm just going to hold that energy, because even though no one told me to do it, I knew instinctually I had to do it. And I answered that call, and I have spread that energy to my son, and he is also going to feel that. Even without my words, that energy will come to the surface, and it will be able to then sprout and go to the future direction. So, and if you don't look at him with shame that he is in prison right now, Look at it with love. That is what we're healing. We don't need shame anymore. We don't need anger anymore. We don't need all this judgment. What we need is love. You know what pains he's felt in his heart and how he got to this position, because it's the same thing you went through. So, but he had to get it a little harder. Like sometimes I feel like we get these red flags in our lives, and we get this information in our lives, and it gets put right in front of us, and we keep going, no. Like I have my youngest that was just in here underneath the bed, and why I came in the room. But I was feeling frustrated about that. Like, why is he in here? I'm coming in, crawling on the ground, trying to pull him out. And then this happens. Like, I got pulled into the room for a purpose. And so everything happens for a reason, even through your frustration, even through your anger, right? So him being in prison right now, you don't know the relationships he's going to, people he's going to talk to, realities he's going to have. And he put himself in that corner. Like when we put ourselves in like the deepest, darkest spot, take ownership, realize that you put yourself there. Like you weren't getting the lesson. Like tell Spirit, our guides, everyone, your mom, like being here right now, right? They will give you things like, oh, here's this gift, take it. Like, please listen, I don't want you to suffer anymore. And I think those of us that are parents in here, we do that with our kids as well, right? We say, take this. We don't want you to fall off the couch and bump your head. I did that as a child. Please don't do it. It's not fun. And then they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to do it myself, right? We did the same thing. And so learning to let go of that control, sitting back and going, okay, I'm going to hold the space for you as you fall and you hit your head. I don't want to see it for you. I don't want that for you. But I know that I need to trust that you are going to learn the lesson on the other side. And by fixing it for you every time, by going in and making it better every time, I am now being codependent. I am now enabling this to literally not be healed because I'm not letting you learn the lesson. So, with your son, Mama Wolf, and anybody else that this is connecting with right now, that you see someone in your life where things have repeated over and over again, you are putting yourself in that same corner as they are. Okay? So if you wake up, here's the key. Everybody, you want to take out your notebook. If you look at the situation that keeps popping up in your life over and over again, and you take accountability and say, I have put myself in this position over and over again, right? Like mine right now is that I feel like my children and other people around me don't listen. Like I say it and everyone's, well, I didn't hear you say that. They look me right in the eye too. And I'm doing everything that I can, but I'm realizing it's my responsibility to change my way of communication. And I put myself in this position to learn a lesson, and it's to stand my ground. It's to believe in myself and to know that I am to be honored and to be loved, and know that there's no shame behind that.
Can you tell if it was an accident?
Okay, let me tune in for that for a second. So tell me yes or no, is there weather in the area? Was there weather? Because I feel like it happened at night. At least like going into night. And so there's no weather around you. There's something like a storm. So the reason I'm picking up weather, and it could be like something that was storming inside her. So as a medium, sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish what they're saying, but you saying no storm helps me go to the feeling that I feel like she felt like she was lost, and she may have, taken steps that she should have not taken, like maybe having alcohol before she got behind the wheel. That it's like she realizes it was a mistake. Like I hear that clearly, and maybe that mistake goes connected. I first was connected to the mistake part with never trusting you and owning who you are and always trying to control which way you were going to do things, which again comes from that perspective of what I was just talking about, is that she didn't want you to end up like she did, but she couldn't step back and see that you were doing work so much better than she was already. So when I'm tuning into that, good. So when I'm tuning into that, I feel that the mistake that happened was on her and she's owning that, but at the same time she's telling me that it was destiny, that this was her time to go, that she's learned what lessons she's needed, and she's reviewing right now. She's reviewing the mistakes. I'm telling her herself, because she's still in that transition space right now where she's feeling human feelings and spirit feelings. Like I'm telling her back right now that there's no such thing as mistakes. You were just telling your daughter this. So like literally take that in for herself as well, because if she heals that energy, you heal that energy. In shamanism, we say that when you heal it within yourself, it not only heals 7 generations forward, but it heals 7 generations behind us. That means our ancestors behind us can also get the download, right? If it's still not clicking, like our ancestors might even be in front of you right now